Alrighty, so as the international break is about to be over and we are now begin the stretch run of the MLS regular season, there's definitely a lot of talks when it comes to the playoff race, the supporter shield race, and also the battle for some of the seedings in the playoffs as well. But one thing we haven't forgot to talk about in terms of the race this season is who's going to win MVP, because this is kind of interesting to see all these talented players within this season that could potentially win MVP. And I decided that, you know what, I'm going to put 10 players on this list that I think could be in contention for MVP. Now, obviously, one thing I want to mention is that this is not a ranking. So the person at number one is not the most likely one that I think is going to win MVP, though, as I'll talk about in just, but maybe that might be the case, consider I put the GOAT at number one there. But yeah, there's no doubt that I'm looking at these 10 players that could be in contention for MVP, could be one of those final four or final three in terms of the finalists, in terms of who's going to win MVP this season. And there also are a couple of names that may be a little bit of a long shot, but it's kind of worth noting and give them some recognition of kind of an MVP caliber of a season for their respective team as well. So with that being said, let us begin by talking about at number one, and of course it's the GO himself, Lionel Messi. Now, one thing about Messi this season, he has played more games this season compared to last season. And last season when he won the MVP, there was a lot of controversy surround that because of the fact that he pretty much missed half of the season. And the big controversy is how can you give the MVP to a guy that only played half a season? That feels very, very unfair. Well, this season, he's already reached the total amount of games start that he had pretty much the entire last season. 17 games started and played 19 games, and he's probably going to finish somewhere around the 20 region in terms of gameplay. Now, obviously, there will still be discussion the fact that, well, he still missed a big chunk of time. Is that worthy of an MVP season? But when you look at the numbers don't lie. I mean, with the limited amount of appearance that he has, he's already scored 19 goals with 10 assists, and he has a goal contribution of 29 goals as well. That is second to the goal contribution list in terms of all players in MLS. And again, the debate, of course, is that did he play enough game to basically have a chance to win MVP without all the naysayers saying that, well, this is kind of unfair. The fact that he won MVP despite he missed majority of the season, and the fact that one thing about Messi is that I would say this season, at least early on, he wasn't really himself early this season. He really hasn't turned it on until lately, and kind of started to prove the naysayer wrong once again. Early this season when Miami was struggling, he was okay, but he wasn't like superhuman like what we see before. I think lately he's been kind of that way again, and I just wonder, is that maybe due to the fact that he's just trying to save some energy and getting ready for the stretch home when he actually spent all that energy. And if that, of course, is the case, I don't blame him, because people forget that he is near the twilight of his career. He probably can't be at his best throughout the entire season. So one way to do so in terms of save your best stuff is save it until when you have crucial games, or when you get to the playoff stretch, as we're seeing right now with Messi just being unstoppable right now with Inter Miami. And then at number two, we got the current Golden Boot leader, Sam Surridge. He have played 29 games, started 28 of them. He of course leads the list with 20 goals so far. And the Golden Boot race, that should be very interesting to see as well. It's going to be either Surridge or Messi that is going to win it. It's probably going to go down the wire as well. He has assisted for so far this season. And with Surridge, what's kind of interesting is the fact that he kind of slowed down a little bit doing that rough patch that Nashville has a couple of weeks ago, but now he seems like he's picked it up again, and he has a goal contribution of 24 as well. And again, anytime when you, of course, win the Golden Boot, of course, you have a big chance in terms of winning MVP. We've seen past MVP that won the Golden Boot and end up winning the MVP as well. But that being said, we also have seen before where as much as you of course score the goals to potentially win MVP, you need to put up a big amount number. 20 goals is definitely impressive for Sam Sturridge, but I think in the past when we see players that won the MVP after winning the Golden Boot, it's kind of like around the high 20s range, or even in the 30s range, as we saw what Carlos Vela did, winning the Golden Boot, and also the MVP at the same time, and the same goes for Joseph Martinez as well when he broke the record. So those are kind of the years where they had to break the record to win the MVP as well. And I don't think obviously Sam Surridge is going to reach that mark, but he's definitely in contention to do so. Though I will say that his one of his teammates could also be in contention of it. And I try my best to not pick two players from a single team. I want to try to make it fair, but there are some players that when you look at the numbers, you just cannot ignore the fact that they should be in contention for MVP as well. And one of those players that is definitely in contention for MVP, and in fact, the discussion I think right now, most people have said that it's going to go down to either Lionel Messi or Anders Schreier because Anders Schreier this season, I mean, what an incredible season he's been having. Not only the fact that he's going to win newcomer of the year, and this probably isn't even close in terms of the discussion of newcomer of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if he win the newcomer of the year by a landslide. I mean, we have never seen a player with that much impact to a team just coming out of the gate. But he played every single game, started every single game as well. Have 14 goals this season, but also leads the league in 18 assists with a goal contribution of a whopping 32. That also leads the league as well. And when you add all that factor into it, I mean, it's hard to not give him the MVP. I mean, I would also say that he's really been carrying San Diego as well. When you look at the San Diego team, I mentioned the problem that they've been having when it comes to goal scoring. Well, he's been the guy that's been scoring most of the goals and also assisting the goal. He is literally doing almost a Christian Benteke carry job, but I would say even more impressive than what Christian Benteke does, consider he's also the one that providing the assists, providing the goals, and it seems like the players that have pretty much contribute the last 20 goals that San Diego has had this season. He's been on the assist chart or on the goal score sheet almost every single season. So there's no doubt that not only he's a landslide to win the newcomer of the year, but yeah, between him and Lionel Messi, I think and it's going to be a good battle. Though again, this goes back to the discussion last season, the fact that when Messi won that one over Cucho, people were very upset about it because Cucho not only have a little bit better numbers, but he played throughout the entire season compared to Messi only playing a limited amount of role. Which again, that could be an interesting thing way to look at it in terms of there's two things you can say about this. One, you could say that it's even more impressive that Messi is able to put up almost similar number to Cucho last season despite playing only half the season. But then there's also that argument, the fact that because of the fact that he missed half of the season, there's a reason why the MVP goes to the best player throughout the entire season, not just half of the season. That is, and then we go at number four, looking at Martino Ojeda, I still cannot believe he did not select it in the All-Star game. Like I think if you look at some of the biggest busts in terms of All-Star stars in MLS history, or actually I wouldn't say bust, but more like snub in terms of MLS All-Star of all time. I think Martino Ojeda has got to be right up there in the top five. I have no idea how he was not selected to be an All-Star this season, and the fact that they had a second chance to do so when MLS decided to add a couple of players on that list that of course wasn't there in the first place. He was still not selected for that. So absolutely disrespect toward Martino Ojeda in terms of what he has done for Orlando City, and just like Andre Schar, he's been really carrying the weight of this Orlando City side, especially in the middle of the summer where he was absolutely electric. He played 27 games, started 24, scored 14 goals and assist 14 with a goal contribution of 28, which is third on the list in terms of goal contribution. So yeah, again, I think he's definitely going to be in discussion in terms of. It won't be surprised he might be one of the final three or final four in terms of the finalists of winning MVP this year as well. And then at number five, this one is a little bit out of left field, but I want to put Yepi Verska on this list as well. He's a guy that a lot of people might not think that he deserved to have the MVP award, considering when you look at the numbers compared to all the other players. You usually don't say that might be enough to get an MVP caliber, and especially no number six has been able to win MVP in this league. Like, you have to be amazing in your position and then do even more stuff in terms of goal contribution to become close to award. But there's no doubt that I still want to give Yepi Verskov a good shout out. Probably the best number six in the league right now. Even though he only scored 1 goal and 10 assists, when you look at the touches, he leads the league with 2,727. And what that tells you is that he is a guy that is an absolute stalwart when it comes to his position. I mean, he is a guy that pretty much control that midfield and control the rhythm. And you wonder why San Diego this season have been leading the league when it comes to possession, or at least close to that is simply because of him. He's been the guy that's been able to do the dirty work and able to win the ball back and also put out the fire. And whenever San Diego might be be in trouble on the defensive end, so yeah, definitely a good shout out to be in contention for MVP, even though most likely he's probably not gonna win one. And then we look at number six, and that of course is Brian White. And I gotta say, Brian White is an example of a player that, I also think that he probably won't be in the finalists in terms of contention, but it's also a good shout. And I think he would have been if he did not miss a lot of times. I mean, just like Messi, he have missed a good amount of time. Only played 19 games, started 18 of them, scored 14 goals with 1 assist, and have a goal contribution of 15. By far the lowest amount compared to all of it. But consider early this season of how good Ryan White is, and he's still okay, even though he hasn't been lighting things on fire ever since he's come back from the injury. I think that he should have a good shout to be MVP this season. Like when you look at this Vancouver Whitecaps team, it is a team that is full of stars on the team, but at the end of the day, when you look at who is the guy that really can contribute in terms of the goals and really the guy that carried the weight, especially in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, it's got to be Brian White. I mean, Brian White, that CONCACAF Champions Cup run, Vancouver would not be gone on that CONCACAF Champions Cup run if it wasn't for Brian White just being an absolute menace in terms of scoring goal almost at every single game throughout the knockout stage. And then another player that again is kind of a little bit out of left field, but still a good shout, and certainly a guy that have also won the MVP for, and that of course is Carlos Hill. So again, the numbers might not be impressive: 10 goals, 11 assists with a goal contribution of 21, and he also has played 29 games. But I put him on this list mainly because considering the fact that New England is still heavily rely on him, and the fact that even though he is starting to near the twilight of his career, the fact that he still can put these number, and especially the fact that he is a guy that is playing on a bad New England side. I mean that seems like an incredible number. And again, one of the thing about MVP award is that usually guys that don't get too much recognition are guys that are playing for bad team, even though the numbers could rival some of the better players up there on this list as well. But yeah, Carlos Hill, I think he should be definitely be mentioned in a shout out for the MVP contention. And especially, when you look at this New England team and really the last couple of weeks and maybe this month alone, his number would have been much better if this team can know how to finish. I mean, I've seen a lot of New England game lately. The fact that I can understand why Caleb Porter have used the excuse, the fact that even though we've been losing all these games, we haven't really been playing badly. In fact, most of the games that the Revs play, they actually play pretty well in most of the game. Problem is that they couldn't finish. The finishing is among one of the worst in the league on this team, and the fact that they pretty much are underperforming there actually by a lot in this past month. And as I mentioned, this is a league about performers, or about resort that is, and if the resort and the standing doesn't show, it doesn't matter what kind of XG you're putting and how much you underperform your XG as well. And again, for Carlos Hill, I think he also pretty much underrate or not underperform his XG by a good some, especially this this these past month from New England has been a team that not only has once again struggled, but a team that just kind of struggled mainly because they just could not show that clinical finishing in the final third. And then at number 8, going back to another good shout out, but a guy that definitely could be in contention for MVP this season is none other than Evander. So this is no surprise, the fact that Evander is putting MVP type of number once again. I mean, we knew this was going to happen when he gone to Cincinnati. The fact that not only he's more happier to be in Cincinnati, but he is definitely putting MVP number again. 16 goals so far, 9 assists, played 26 started 26 of the 27 games that he started with a goal contribution of 25 as well. So yeah, again, he's definitely going to be up there. I wouldn't be surprised he might also be one of the finalists as well. I mean, when it comes to finalists, if they're going to go with 3 players, or actually, I think it's either 3 players or 4 players. I'm going to go with 4. If I had to go with the finalists, it's a 4 player. I would go with Messi, Dwyer, Ojeda, and also Evan Vander as the 4 in terms of the finalists. He is definitely putting some incredible number, and at times really carried the Cincinnati attack as well. And not to mention, he's also the best free kick takers in this league. I mean, the amount of goals that he scored from the free kick, some absurd goal that he scored from the free kick as well, something that we haven't seen in a very very long time in this league. And then at number 9, I'm going to put Hani Mukhtar on this list as well. So as much as I know I mentioned Sam Sturridge is the goal scorer of this team, it's also not to forget to give a shout out to former MVP Hani Mukhtar as well. It feels like he finally found his MVP form again. I mean, the last couple of years he has really fall off the map ever since he won that MVP in 2022. But this season he's definitely found his form again. 14 goals, 11 assists with a good goal contribution of 25 as well. You have played and started every single game so far this season. And while I wouldn't say that this number is as impressive as he did in that 2022 MVP season, I mean that was not only by far the career best, but he had to put those numbers because between him and Driussi in that MVP race, that was an epic MVP race as well. But there's no doubt that he's definitely going to get a shot in terms of the fact that, again, it's hard to believe that he kind of really followed the map for a couple of years after that MVP season, and the fact that he rediscovered it. A lot of credit has to go to him and also this Nashville side, and also BJ Callahan as well, really unlocking Hani Mukhtar once again. And then lastly, in terms of players contending for MVP, I had to put a goalkeeper in there. I mean, I put mostly attack heavy because mostly it's when it comes to MVP, it's usually won by an attacking player, usually a number 10 that is. But I'm gonna put a goalkeeper as well. This one was a bit of a tough one because I had numerous goalkeepers I could have put there. I could have put Yohei Takaoka, who leads the league in clean sheets so far. I could have even put Joe Willis as well. Very underrated goalkeeper for Nashville. He's not getting enough recognition in terms of how good he's been in front of net. But in the end, I'm gonna kind of cop out a little bit and put Christian Kalina in there. Last year's goalkeeper of the year, and one of the things that this might be a little bit questionable for me to put him in there is the fact that it really hasn't really been a great season for Christian Kalina compared to last season. Last season, he was definitely a menace and deserved to win the goalkeeper year. I don't know if this year he's going to be in contention again. I think Taco probably is going to win it this year, but still, I'm just going with this because of recency bias. I mean, it feels like he's found his form again recently. I mean, doing this incredible winning streak that Charlotte has had, which they have a chance to tie the record that Seattle set back in 2018 in terms of winning 9 games in a row against Inter Miami this weekend. He has provided 9 clean sheet, 100 free save, which is leads in MLS right now. And the goal out is a little bit ugly. 38 is a little bit too much to be concerned in MVP contention. But again, I'm just going with recency bias. The fact that it seems like he's finding his form again, making some ridiculous save, and maybe this kind of form could maybe once again bring him contention of once again winning goalkeeper of the year again this season. But there you have it. That is pretty much it. Looking at 10 players that I think is in contention for MVP or at least in the MVP race this year. As always, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this list and if there's any players I didn't include it on this list. I'm pretty sure I definitely miss out a couple of decent player. I mean, if I want to go with honorable mention, I gotta mention Christian Espinoza for the San Jose Earthquakes. Even though I know he hasn't really been doing that well lately, he's once again putting some good number. And even Philip Zinkanago, again, for the Chicago Fire. He's been a guy that has been so consistent throughout the season for the Fire as well. So that could be a good honorable mention as well. And even if I go with defender as well, gotta give a shout out to Allison Malanda as well. Seems like he's kind of picked himself back in terms of his form in the defensive spot. Could be in contention for winning defender of the year as well. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this video. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you like, smash the subscribe button. And yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.